Star Ocean: The Second Story is getting a remake and it's releasing on November 2nd. However, there is a demo out now for Switch, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC via Steam. I played the demo and I had a great time during it, so I thought I'd share my thoughts on it with you all. I never owned Star Ocean 2 as a child, but I consistently rented it from the video store because that's what you did back then. And for me, it was fascinating because I was very familiar with the Final Fantasy series, but I had never played this more action combat style, and it was really engaging for me. It felt like a Final Fantasy, but the combat was just so quick and so much fun. The demo brought back those feelings for me, but man, is this a different game. There's just a ton of polish present here. They have updated a ton of things, including updated graphics, mixing 2D pixel characters with 3D environments. There's also rearranged music, there's updated voice acting, and new battle systems to freshen up the game if you've already played it before. So with all of that said, let's take a look at some various sections of the game and what I thought about it. I won't lie, at first the blend between the 2D pixel characters and the 3D environments was a bit jarring to me, but I very quickly became used to it. If you've played the original, you'll recall that the game doesn't exactly hold up graphically, but this new version does an excellent job of bringing life to the old environments. When you first leave the Sacred Forest, you'll see the village of Arlia, and it really hits you. Once in the village, the details pop off the screen, from the shadows of the houses to the details on each bush to the mill churning water. Everything looks great. And while the camera isn't adjustable by the player, it does adjust for you based on your movement. The adjustments are very fluid and they help the presentation of the area that you were in. I was a big fan of this. Things kick up another notch when you reach the castle town of Cross. I honestly just sat and admired the scenery, and I was impressed with the depth shown when I could see between two buildings and saw more NPCs walking in the distance. In the two dungeons that I completed, I was a little less impressed with the scenery, but the battle scenes really jumped out to me. The most beautiful change to the game, in my opinion, is the world map. World maps are something we see less and less of in modern RPGs, and I can understand why. But while I'm a sucker for a good world map, this updated version in Star Ocean shows exactly how an RPG can get this right and improve on the old concept.
There's no way around it. You ready for this?
Random encounters are gone in the remake. Instead, you can see the enemies on the overworld and dungeon maps. If multiple enemies are close together, the battles can link up and you'll fight them consecutively. Battles are just as fast and dynamic as I remember, as you attack at will, mixing in skills with the bumper buttons. You can backstep with the press of a button, but in the remake, if your timing is perfect, your character positions themselves for a counterattack and even restores a little bit of MP. However, getting this dodge wrong will stun you for a few seconds. Enemies also have a shield value and can be broken once it's depleted. They'll take more damage while broken, and you can break enemies more quickly using specific skills. You can also summon party members that are not in battle into the battle using the Assault action skill. This new feature brings in an ally once you've filled up a gauge, and it adds an extra layer of complexity to the relatively simple battle system. Finally, there is a bonus gauge system that fills up as you attack and break enemies. There are 3 tiers of the gauge, and every time you fill one up, you'll get bonus stats for your characters. This gauge can break, however, if you fail a perfect counter, if a character dies, or if you get back attacked. In the case of the gauge being broken, it goes down to 0 and you'll have to build it back up from scratch. This system rewards players for dodging properly and using some form of tactics. If you button mash, you will lose your bonus. The music in Star Ocean is everything I remembered it to be. The new arrangements are wonderful. Motoi Sakuraba's signature style is here, and the classic songs that I've saved to countless RPG music playlists on YouTube are splendid in their new renditions. The one complaint I have about the music is that anytime you are in a voice-acted scene, the music volume decreases for a character's line, and it increases when it's over. Depending on the song and how much dialogue you're going through, I found this incredibly jarring. Now, if you listen to every single word of dialogue without skipping through it, you likely won't notice this as much as I did, but I read fast and I don't always listen to every single sentence, especially if it's not a meaningful scene, and this feature bugged the crap out of me.
That's close enough. So you're out. Let Rena go. Do you have any idea what you're doing?
If you'll excuse me, sir, we are in the middle of a holy ceremony.
In case you're curious about the story in Star Ocean, I'll give you a quick recap of the demo. You'll start by picking whether you want to play as Claude or Rena. Depending on the character that you pick, you'll see a couple different scenes and will have a different inner dialogue to listen to. You'll also be able to recruit a different character to your party, depending on which main character you play as. In general, in Star Ocean, you'll find multiple characters that you can recruit, but once they're recruited, cut you off from recruiting a different character. Back to the demo. I chose to play as Claude C. Kenny, the son of Admiral Ronix J. Kenny, who is actually a main character from the first Star Ocean game. So if you haven't checked that out yet, it's cool little continuity there for you. You are stationed aboard your father's spaceship, and you head down to a planet to check out an anomaly. After an accidental teleportation, you end up on the unknown planet of Expel in the Sacred Forest. You see Rena being attacked by an ape, and you go to save her. Of course, all Claude has is his blaster, so he starts blasting. Unfortunately, everybody thinks that's the Sword of Light and that Claude is the hero of prophecy. All Claude wants to do is get off the planet and contact his dad to get home. Claude tells Rena, her mother, and the village elder that he's not the hero and he can't help them. Everyone is kind of pissed because they fed Claude a pretty big dinner, but they're still outwardly nice to him. You then find out that Rena has been kidnapped by the mayor's son from a nearby mining town. Cloud storms the mines and finds out that this guy is trying to force Rena to marry him. After defeating the guy, he gaslights you into thinking that he was controlled by this strange rock and that he wasn't himself the whole time. Everybody believes it, and Claude decides that he's going to help out after all. You see, this meteor crashed down into the planet, and ever since, people have been fending off weird weather and all sorts of monsters. The populace calls this meteor the Sorcery Stone, and Claude and Rena set off to Cross Castle to talk to the king to learn more about it. Claude figures that the meteor came from space, and it's his best lead on getting home. There's another dungeon that I completed in the demo, but I think this is enough information for the story. I enjoyed the Star Ocean demo quite a bit, but I do understand that nostalgia was probably a big factor for me. I think still that veteran RPG fans will really enjoy this game. And I think they've done enough to update the battle system and other systems in the game that there'll be plenty of new RPG fans that will actually enjoy it as well. However, this game has a demo, so there's really no reason not to try it out and see what you think. And if you do buy the game, it will let you continue your progress from wherever you left off in the demo. That's all for me, but I hope this video was useful for you. Let me know in the comments if you're going to be getting Star Ocean Second Story R, or if you're going to be skipping this one for something else. Otherwise, I'll see you all soon enough in another video. Thank you so much for watching this one.